What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this 2023 Dodge Charger RT Daytona. This one's finished off in Sublime. MSRP is about $52,000. So let's go ahead and see what is going to power an RT Daytona. So just popping the hood, as the giant graphic is going to tell you, we're going to see a Hemi under the hood. And if I can find the latch, and of course, once again, as the engine's going to tell you, this is a 5.7 liter Hemi V8. It pumps out 370 horsepower with 385 pound-feet of torque. This car will top out around 155 and do 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds. It's kind of cool. You get a badge down here, nice air intake design as well. And then moving on to the exterior styling, it's a pretty sharp looking car. For being an old design, it still looks really good. But you can see these LED headlights sunken into the bodywork with a blacked out design. We have the Daytona badge, a nice grille, and then another grille down below just to improve efficiency and really cool down that engine. You got a nice trim piece, really aggressive front bumper with a nice looking splitter. And then moving to that hood, I really love the hood scoop with that vinyl graphic. It has a really cool vibe for the Daytona package. And if we make our way to the side, you get these really cool looking 20-inch wheels finished off in a gunmetal color, split spoke design, and that Dodge logo right in the center. Nice bodywork around that front fender. And then I really like the body line cutting through these doors. You can really see it just going through that with a really cool look. You get gloss black on the mirror caps, all black trim, body color door handles, and then more of that satin black up on top. You can see that sunroof and shark fin antenna. And then moving to the side profile, the Charger has a pretty cool proportion. It's definitely a big car, weighing in over 4,000 pounds. However, proportions are pretty cool just to give it that muscle car vibe. And I love in back how we get more of the black vinyl with Daytona written on it. Really gives it an old school look. You can see the sharp body line cutting all the way to the back, and then a nice trim piece in the rear portion of this bumper, and a massive LED taillight for these brake lights. Really nice the way everything is integrated. We have a trunk button and Dodge is written out. Then we also get the Charger name written out in black with a backup camera. There are parking sensors back here, more cool lines, and this does have the dual exhaust system. Now moving on to the space back here, we got a button right there. As expected, this thing's huge, so you get a massive trunk in here. You can probably fit 4 golf bags in here. You can open that up. There's even more hidden storage space. So it really is a pretty practical car. And I love how that wing just cuts out over the actual rear bumper area. So pretty neat design overall, especially in this color combination. And then if we go ahead and check out the rear seating, you're gonna see some black leather and vinyl across the door panel with some stitching. And then you get the black leather with alcantara. Very nice design. Storage on the back side of these seats, air vents along with some plugs. And the center seat, you can pull this down. You got armrests as well as 2 cup holders. Now if I go ahead and hop inside, at 5'11", I sit back here pretty comfortably actually. My head just barely almost touches this glass, so just be careful on big bumps to not smash your head through there. However, you know, it's a pretty practical, comfortable car back here with quite a lot of storage space. You can also pull these and get these seats to fold down, and you're gonna really maximize cargo area and a good entry point into that trunk. So I'm checking out the driver's seat now. Just climbing out. We have the smart key. Of course, you have the button on the top to lock or unlock it. And then once again, the door panel is finished off just like we saw in back. You have your addition of all the controls. You have the release handle with memory seating, and then power controls on these seats. This is Napa leather, and then perforations up here. They are heated and ventilated. You get Daytona embroidered into the backrest as well. And then hopping in, keep my foot on the brake, let's fire it up. That Hemi's gonna roar to life. Very cool sound, of course. And then of course you're gonna see that tack on the left, speedometer on the right, and a digital instrument cluster right in the center. So you can scroll through all these pages. You have a digital speed readout. You can scroll down once, cycle through all sorts of different vitals within the car. Just a great touch to see. We have more performance information. You're able to scroll through all this, and then some economy, and then a few more things as you continue to scroll down. We have cruise control on the right side, some Bluetooth and audio, and then little paddle shifters up here as well with buttons underneath them for volume and tuning. We have the windshield wiper stalk on the left side, and then headlight controls, interior dimming and trunk release, and then even a power tilting and telescoping steering column. We have some of this vinyl material and stitching, and then I really like how it goes all the way around this infotainment, and this plastic kind of looks like patinaed metal, so kind of a neat color combination the way they've done that. You got a Daytona badge on the far right side as well, and then you can see a pretty good amount of storage space. Taking a look at the infotainment now, we have our media icon, everything you would expect. Climate control settings, you can very easily adjust everything. You have fan speed, temperature, all of your different zones. And then if you hit the controls icon, we have the heated and ventilated seating along with that heated steering wheel. We have full screen navigation and everything, different settings that are going to come up in the car. And if we go into the apps icon, we can hit performance control. You're going to see all sorts of different modes. We have the sport mode setup, you're able to adjust steering, engine, all that sort of thing. We have launch control, you're able to adjust the shifting, and then exiting out of there. If we scroll over, we have our performance pages. And with that opening, you can see we have dyno, we have engine information as well. You get a few gauges that can pop up. So definitely pretty neat to see all of that. And then if I go ahead and put it into reverse, we get that backup camera popping up. Got some guidelines, parking sensors in the center. Not the best graphics, however, it's at least better than nothing. And then underneath all of that, we have a sport mode icon you can press. It'll pop up on the gauge cluster. The super track back gets you back to that screen we already checked out. We have volume on the left, tuning and scrolling, and then physical climate controls down here. When you make any sort of adjustment, it'll pop up on the screen. We have your temperature control, and then storage down below with a 12 volt, and then more storage on the right side, more of this cool plastic material. And then sliding this back, you're gonna see 2 cup holders and some storage. And then we have storage in the center. Of course, you can put some loose change there, and you got a few plugs in here. So pretty good overall. And then one last look at the interior. Up on top, you're gonna see a black headliner with our sunroof shade, garage door openers, dome lights. You even get a sunglass holder. So pretty cool design overall. All right, guys, we are setting off in the RT Daytona. So getting up to speed, it's not the crazy fastest car, obviously. You can get a Scat Pack on top of this or go for a Hellcat. However, accelerating is pretty good. You know, it'll get up to speed nicely. You get to enjoy that V8 rumble. So it's a pretty good entry point into a muscle car, especially when other competitors, you know, might have a 4-cylinder. It's pretty cool to be in this with a pretty decently healthy V8 motor. Sounds good for sure. Now, some normal driving, if we just take it out of sport mode, go into automatic, it's a pretty comfortable, livable car. These seats are really nice to be in. Of course, the materials themselves is really nice. Like, nice to touch, but good padding, good support, great visibility. You can see that huge hood. You can even read Hemi from here, which is a really nice touch. All the mirrors do a great job. And when you look over your shoulders, visibility, honestly, fantastic. Very, very livable of a car. I think that's a really good touch, how they've made this car feel like a pretty normal car with all the space you could ever want. So let's go ahead and get back up to speed. We'll leave it in automatic right now. So just letting the 8-speed do its thing. Trying not to let it redline. It likes to rev though. It's a very quick revving engine, so it seems to just want to be used. And being such a big motor in general, I mean, obviously it's not really stressing it when you are going to use it. As far as some normal things with the suspension, you know, I like how it still feels like a pretty tight vehicle, and yet it's comfortable as well. If we go to the performance control and set up everything, so you're able to adjust engine, transmission, traction, and steering. So this does have a fixed suspension. You're gonna need to get into a Scat Pack, I believe, to get to the adaptive dampers. However, driving it like normal, there's a little bit of body roll, but that's kind of expected given this weighs so much, but it's smooth and comfortable when needed. And if you're gonna be a little bit more performance driving focused, it still is nice and tight. The steering feel, of course, in comfort mode, very lazy, super lightweight, but then when you tone it all the way up to sport mode, it tightens up a lot, adds a little bit of weight to it. So it's a pretty cool blend, like I said, just a good blend of an entry point muscle car. Looks really good, of course. I mean, I think the styling, while this is a old car in general, I think the styling on the outside still looks great. And the interior, especially if you get the leather, the alcantara, it feels like a nice place to be. Interior tech is a little on the dated side, so I could see some updates, obviously, with the next generation car. But overall, it's a pretty cool place to be, and you're able to play with the car enough without getting into too much trouble. You know, you got a little bit of power underneath the hood to play with, and it's a pretty good entry point into the muscle car world.